in what I call the failing New York Times.
That feels like a Twitter thing to say to me.
Well, okay, here's the thing.
So, ladies and gentlemen, when I woke up today, right, I was like, oh, there might be some news. There's news, everybody. Okay, I reckon this is the biggest news we've seen since COVID. No, not really, but this is big news in gaming industry, okay? I knew it was only a matter of time before our Lord and Savior that breaks most of the stories, okay, in the world of video games has decided to move on. Ralph, you take it from there, my friend.
We're talking about Jason Schreier, of course. Now, look, everyone has different views on Schreier. I understand that. Whenever I tweet out anything about Jason Schreier or like retweet one of his things, half of the replies are usually like, I can't read it because I'm blocked, right? So I get it. Obviously, lots of people have issues with Schreier and personality, personal politics, whatever else. However, I think we can all agree that Jason Schreier is objectively the best person working in games journalism right now. Like in terms of breaking news, no one has broken more news. No one has a deeper set of contacts to leverage than Jason Schreier. I mean, you only need to look at his exposés behind Destiny 2, everything that's been going on at Rockstar, massive expose around Anthem, all the Diablo, the Blizzard stuff he's been doing, just huge amounts of very groundbreaking news that really gets in behind the scenes, speaks to the people who are involved in this on the front lines, and brings us those stories. So he is doing fantastic work. He was doing it under Kotaku's banner. He's also published a book as well called Blood, Sweat and Pixels, which I would recommend. I actually read it a number of years back. Even
you read it?
I did actually, before I was a YouTuber, I read it. And, or maybe it was just as I was starting out. But yeah, it's a good book. It's just talking again about behind the scenes stories of how games are made.
So he's leaving everybody, and this is the official statement that he put on Kotaku. Truth is, I've decided to leave the media and pursue my life calling, becoming a full-time saxophone player. I used to play saxophone, everybody, okay? Just a little tidbit before we continue with the quote. Kidding, I'm staying in journalism, where I will continue to report on the weird, wild industry and culture of video games. I plan to take a few weeks off to put the final touches on my second book and hang out with my 7-month-old, and then I'll be doing brand new things at a brand new outlet. I don't think it'll be productive to spend too much time on the reasons I'm leaving, which will probably be obvious, other than to say, when I think about what happened to Deadspin, bile builds in my throat. After October 29, 2019, it became clear to me that I could not work at this company for much longer. So they're obviously, leaving on great terms, great terms.
Well, okay, here's the thing.
That's what you say when you love your organization that you're leaving.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone that's not in the know on this one, essentially Deadspin is a sister publication of Kotaku. It covers sports the same way that lots of people get frustrated that Kotaku doesn't stick to games. Lots of people got frustrated that Deadspin didn't always stick to sports. Like they did lots of other stuff, color commentary, like stuff outside on the fringes, and a lot of people just didn't like that, and in particular the management didn't like that, and they issued an edict at some point saying, guys, just stick to sports from now on, we're not going to do anything outside that. And the journalists really did not agree with that, so they actually all resigned en masse. And yeah, basically Jason has always been very upset about the way that those people were treated and felt like they shouldn't have been told by management how to run their site. I know, again, a lot of people have different opinions on that, but that's certainly how Jason felt about it.
This is the thing. I think if you're going to be leaving a company and you're putting a statement on the official website, I don't know. Is it the moment just to be like, cool, I had fun, guys, thanks so much, see you later? Or is it to start saying that you have bile in your throat because things happened?
I think it's fine.
At the sister company.
I think it's fine for him to say that, like, as in,
I'm surprised that Kotaku even greenlit that. That feels like a Twitter thing to say to me. That feels like a thing to say on his own personal Twitter. I'm surprised that Kotaku actually allowed that on the website.
Sure, no, fair enough, I understand that. The question is, what's next for Jason then? He didn't actually say what his next publication is. I'm going to bet it's probably the New York Times. This is just a guess, mind you, but he's written about 3 or 4 pieces for the New York Times in the last little while. Most recently, he wrote something on Final Fantasy VII. He wrote their review. He speaks very highly of the publication, and I wouldn't be surprised if he made the jump there, because Washington Post recently made a big push into core gaming with their site called Launcher, which is basically specifically Washington Post does video games. They've hired people in, they're focusing on it more and more. It wouldn't surprise me if the New York Times thought, well, we better get in on this as well. Given how big video games is, how much goes down in that space, they kind of would need a presence. And if you were looking to get someone to really cover the behind the scenes goings on of video games, there's really no one you could get better than Jason Schreier. So that's my guess, but again, as I said, just a guess.
By the end of 2020, I think they're guessing gaming to be like the biggest entertainment industry in general. So it is going to be a space that I think all major newspapers and ESPN and stuff, they're doing shit on it, man. Like, everyone's getting into it. It's only a matter of time until everyone and their dog has some sort of foot in the gaming industry in terms of news reporting.
Even
the failing New York Times.
But look, I mean, the real question is, right, what does this mean for Kotaku? Because he is their main investigative lead. Like, he's the dude. He's not only the main lead, I think, in Kotaku, he was very much the lead in a lot of stories in general in the gaming industry, right? So if they lose him, they lose, like, their biggest kind of player, you know? I feel like it was already a struggle for Kotaku to feel legitimate and not feel like a meme for some people, you know? And let's be real, like, some people just don't like Kotaku. Now for them to lose Jason Schreier, even if they might not personally like the dude, you can't not respect what he does for the industry. So it'll be challenging times, I think.
I think so. I mean, like, personally, I don't hate Kotaku, but I don't like a lot of what they put up, right? But like, at the same time, I'm like, look, everyone's doing their own thing. Everyone puts up their own stuff, whatever. But it very much made Kotaku, like, valuable having Jason around. Do you know what I mean? And to not have him there really makes me kind of question the longevity of that publication, you know. They also lost someone recently called Tim Rogers, by the way, who is so funny and, like, so talented. And then he just upped and left, which is, I actually expected, because I'm like, this man is too talented to be involved in a publication. You know what I mean? He needs to be doing his own thing. So look, they obviously are experiencing some talent loss right now. He does say specifically he's very confident in the remaining staff. I'm not throwing shade at any of them, by the way. I'm purely just saying that, like,
yes, Ralph is. No.
I'm purely just saying that, like, I know everyone has issues with Kotaku. I have some of those issues as well, and I think that those issues are going to be exacerbated when you don't have the quality that Jason puts out to kind of offset that bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Like, did you see recently how the internet dunked on, like, the Final Fantasy's easy mode is too easy article?
I saw that.
That's so funny.
I saw that, and I saw your, like, weird, like, that drooling face. God, that's so funny. But this is the thing. I mean, look, there's Polygon, then there's Kotaku, you know. But now I feel like Polygon, Kotaku's getting down there. But I think the big problem is they pick their worst battles, you know. And I just think that this is just going to make it increasingly more difficult for people to want to click on Kotaku. But who knows? But Gamescom, okay. Now I'm excited for it. Now look, the thing is, I go to gaming events like every day right now, right? I leave my house and go to gaming events and E3. Of course I do. Everybody does. Let's face it, Gamescom, probably the biggest place in the world where gamers all meet and have a good old yarn about gaming and announcements, right? About 245,000 people attended last year, so it's a huge event, and people were excited and hoping that maybe it was still on.
Yes, they were. In fact, sort of Gamescom organizing committee was kind of dangling this idea last month. They put out an update being like, hey guys, we're still watching this situation and we're hoping that it goes ahead. Right now it's still going ahead, but that may change. We'll keep you posted.
But then, of course, Germany comes out and bans all physical meetings. Okay, so up until that point, a lot of people were like, maybe this will all blow over by September or whatever, right? Because that's when it is, September, August or whatever. So Germany's banned all physical meetings, and now off the back of that, Gamescom now has officially come out with an announcement saying that the physical Gamescom has been cancelled, okay? And this is the quote.
It's official. Unfortunately, Gamescom will under no circumstances take place on site in Cologne this year. Just like many of you, we are disappointed because as the Gamescom team, we've been working on a wonderful Gamescom 2020 for months, just like the many exhibitors. However, it's also quite clear to us that in the face of the corona pandemic, we must stand united. This means that we must all be considerate of each other and reduce the risk of infection.
However, they did give us an insight on what they want to do with Gamescom in terms of digital, and this is what they said. We are, however, already working at full speed on a digital Gamescom. It is, after all, the world's biggest event for games, and that's what it should be again this year. You can already look forward to how we will celebrate the best games at Gamescom together with you and millions of gamers worldwide at the end of August, even if it will only be digital and not a location this time, because one thing is certain, this year too, Gamescom is and will remain the heart of gaming. Well, they're definitely saying, hey, look, we're still putting this on. They're not doing an ESA, everybody.
Well,
okay?
yeah, you might remember that the ESA, who organised E3, specifically said, don't worry, guys, we're totally doing a digital event, and I trust us. It's going to be huge. It's the best digital event ever. And like 1 month later, they're just like, oh, by the way, the digital event's cancelled. Didn't even put out an official statement about it. It was an interview to PC Gamer, where they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're canning that. And so IGN right now is stepping up to fill that void. They're the ones doing an event around the time of E3 instead of the ESA. It remains to be seen whether or not Gamescom organising committee will go the way of ESA and just not do that event. But look, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it probably will happen. It's a good time of the year to do an event like that because, I mean, August, you're sort of leading into the big release schedule. Stuff starts releasing in September, October in terms of big video game releases. It makes sense that they do something good and big then. But we'll see if they actually deliver.
Yeah, but I wonder if how many games will be coming out, okay? I wonder if we're going to see the entire portfolio, pretty much, of all games that we're expecting to come out this year just get pushed back even further. I wonder if we're going to have all these digital events planned, like IGN, their digital event, and Gamescom, and then they're going to realize, oh, hang on, we're actually getting a lot of these games that we were initially expecting, saying that they're not actually going to attend. It's going to be interesting just to see what these digital events are, and B, how many actual games we can even see at these events. But anyway, it will be interesting. But that is it for today.
That is it,
Isn't
guys.
This is it.
We're done. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. We love yous all. And
we're doing that now. Like and subscribe, everybody.
That's right. We're Laymen out.
Laymen out.
I ain't a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets.